Hello, Bobcat Nation. This is the New York City Highline trip, my experience, and talking about, well, third spaces. So the Highlands have a pretty interesting history from when it first started. In the mid 1800s to 1910, it was coined as Death Avenue because people keep dying by the trains. It is interesting that the idea of the Highline actually began in the early 1980s. With the decline of the railway systems and the rise of trucking, the rails really just stood there for a while until a Chelsea resident, Peter Obletz, formed the West Side Rail Line Development Foundation, and they sought to preserve the railway system and use it recreationally. My first impression when I stepped foot onto the Highlines is, wow, there's a lot of people here. Not only is there a lot of people, you can see so many different types of people here, ranging from families, couples, students, business people, all using this Highline to rather get to work, de-stress, or really just enjoying the moment. I do find it fairly poetic that this railway that used to connect New York City to all of the other states around it is now being used to connect your everyday New York people with each other. Anyways, have this selfie that me and my group took. Pretty cool. Alright, moving on. Something that America as a nation, I think, desperately needs is the existence of third spaces. Places like public parks and public infrastructure, or something like the New York Highline. These are places where people can simply coexist and just say hi to each other, see each other's faces, without a need for an objective. People can just use these spaces for leisure and nothing else. Third spaces like this also facilitates the exchange of ideas. I mean, look at that typewriter guy from earlier. That's cool. You don't see that nowadays. You also get to see beautiful artwork, people performing, which, there was a guy actually that was singing earlier. Let me see if we can find him. There he is. Look at him go. This is great. The Highline embodies all the virtues that the third space should have, and it's something that I reiterate is desperately needed across America. These places connect us and really helps us know each other instead of, well, always being stuck on those damn screens. It could be argued that the irony of this current generation being so connected through internet and yet so isolated socially can be linked with the diminishing of third spaces in American society. We're so used to connecting online that for a while people thought there's no more need for public spaces like this. This polarizes people against each other. We don't see our faces anymore. We're not speaking in person. Can't read people's body language. We now see the negative impact when human society is devoid of these physical interactions. And hopefully now with the success of the Highlines project, we can expect to see more spaces like this being introduced back into our lives. Okay, time to talk about architecture. By the way, if you haven't noticed already, this video is very much an excuse for me to share my classical music playlist. Hope y'all don't mind, and hope you enjoy. Anyways, I yapped enough about third spaces, so yeah. Check out this sculpture, by the way. What is it? I'm not quite sure. Looks pretty cool. The architecture on the New York City Highline is a very interesting blend between postmodern, like high-rise skyscrapers, and then you also have teeming ecosystem that developed there after decades of disuse. That's actually one of the reasons why we wanted to establish the Highland as a public space. By the way, we did go on the little island. It was a quick detour. It was pretty fun. Yeah, that's about it. That's pretty much all I have to say. I have one more picture. It was pretty fun. This was really fun. Alright, goodbye. By the way, here's a picture of Tim going full 90 degrees off the bus. Okay, sorry Tim, goodbye.